So, Prince Andrew was not listening to his brother, King Charles's orders. Instead, he is refusing to vacate his home Royal Lodge on the Windsor estate. That, of course, is the 30-room mansion where he has lived for nearly the past 20 years, but the disgraced royal is worried that the monarch might go to extreme lengths to kick him. Royal expert Phil Dampier has weighed in on the matter, saying he's concerned that now the coronation is over, the knives are out. He's worried that the royals might even turn off the utilities to get him out of there. Now, according to reports, the $56 million home, which Andrew shares with his ex-wife, Sarah Ferguson, has been earmarked for Prince William and Princess Catherine. And they're telling the Duke of York that he needs to be out of there by several. Additionally, Charles is reportedly cutting the $470,000 allowance that the late Queen gave to Andrew. So the thing is, he can't afford to maintain the mansion anymore. The King wants Andrew and presumably his ex-wife Fergie to move to Harry's old home, Frogmore Cottage. But he is resisting and still has a 55-year lease on the Royal Lodge, according to Phil, who spoke with Women's Day magazine reports. They will cut off his electricity, have been denied, but they are obviously putting him. And Mr. Philadelphia also reports that Prince William is a driving force behind this plan to remove Andrew. I think William has played a major part in sidelining his uncle and insisted there was no way back for him in public life after he paid off Virginia Jupiter, the woman who alleged Andrew sexually assaulted her, according to Phil. He also said William has never been close to Andrew, and now he probably sees him as a problem, just like his brother, Harry. William might think the two spares have caused enough trouble for the House of Windsor and need to be separated from the institution. And keeping with the family's plan to publicly distance themselves from Andrew, it has also been revealed that he posed for secret coronation portraits, wearing formal robes. But says the Buckingham Palace is probably never going to release these photos. I am sure Charles still loves his brother and cares for him, but he has to distance himself and can't slowly let him back into public life. Although I know that's what Andrew wants. According to Phil, Andrew paid quite surprise for his ill-judged friendship with a convicted pedophile, Jeffrey. Phil also says he is no longer a working royal, has been stripped of his military connections and patronages, and as a virtual recluse. And as for Royal Lodge, well, at the end of the day, Phil insists the royals have way too many properties anyway. He goes on to say, with the death of the Queen, Buckingham Palace, Windsor Castle, Balmoral and Sandringham are available, yet both Prince William and King Charles are still living in their old homes. A real game of homes is needed. Some need to be sold off, and others turned into full-time museums, or the public will start to ask questions as to the cost of them all. Meanwhile, in other news, Tom Bower, the author of Revenge, which talked about the Meghan-Harry saga and the fallout with the other senior royals, claimed that there was a lot of stress surrounding the coronation of the King and Queen. He said Catherine was upset because they only gave her 4 tickets to invite people to the event. So Michael and Carol Middleton attended with James Middleton and Pippa Matthews. Neither James nor Pippa could bring their spouses to the event, leaving James Matthews and Alex Middleton out of luck. Meanwhile, Camilla was able to invite 20 people, which did not include her grandchildren, because they served as pages. And she invited some people she isn't even very close with. The fact is, friends and media reporters who stood up for Camilla when she was being introduced as a good wife for Charles, rather than being viewed as Charles' mistress, who destroyed the marriage between Charles and Diana, were also left off the list. Now they're friends of Camilla, and they assumed that she would be welcoming them to the coronation. Bower claims that many people were upset with Queen Camilla over the people she invited and the people she chose to not invite. Camilla could have easily invited whoever, basically because she was the one being crowned. And she had a big say. And who was able to attend the ceremony. I'm a big fan of Tom Bower, and I usually believe whatever he says, but I must have missed the moment when he claims that Catherine refused to curtsy to the Queen. And I wasn't watching to see many others in the congregation bow to the King. But I didn't see anybody refuse to bow or curtsy to Camilla as she was making her way down the aisle at the end. So I'm answering this based on what I've heard from Tom Bower. He is usually accurate, but I'm not sure if Catherine would actually be so upset if her brother and sister couldn't bring their husband and wife along. I mean, couldn't they have made room for just 2 more people if this really were the case? Was Camilla acting like some type of diva? I'm not sure. But that is the story that's going around right now. And as for how Queen Camilla looked on the day of the coronation, she didn't seem upset. In fact, she was in pain. She had suffered from a back injury 2 days before the coronation, and it was still bothering her. She was in pain, and so she had to miss out on a few events ahead of the coronation. And then after too. I understand how that feels. I have thrown my back out many times, so I understand why she needed to rest. Now, if any of you saw the Princess of Wales curtsy to Queen Camilla as she was walking out of the Abbey, please let me know in the comments section. That would tell us a lot about whether Tom Bower is accurate in this case or not. I think this is just another example, though, of a royal baiting story. This was the day to celebrate Charles and Camilla. And clearly, she was entitled to invite her family and her supporters, who in the past have taken a back seat. Now, Catherine is definitely not a petty person. And if her brother and sister were insulted because they couldn't bring their spouses along, they could easily have just declined the invitation. Pip especially has no need to promote herself because she is living her best life already. And I think it's natural that Camilla would have more tickets to give out because she's the Queen. I mean, she has more standing to have more tickets. The Princess of Wales is a step down, so of course you will be allocated for your tickets. Catherine chose to invite her family. It was a slimmed-down coronation ceremony. And everybody looked thrilled to be there. The Middletons are not a petty family, and they don't try to act like they're victims all the time. Unlike some people we know. So Tom Bower has claimed that Camilla invited 20 people to the coronation, but only 4 members of Catherine's family got to be invited. And some people are saying that the 20 people did include the page boys, as well as her sister. Her sister was one of her ladies in attendance, and all the others are related to the Queen. So I don't really know what's going on with Tom Bower's